Tip FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, Puck On. Over half a century driving the people of Tipperary and surrounding areas with quality, reliable and economical vehicles, new and used. Call the sales team today to discuss your next car or van on 067 24 111.
Thanks, Pat. Welcome back to the final hour of Tip Today.
For every problem, there's a solution. Dear Phil on Tip Today with Phil Prendergast.
How are you, Phil?
Fran, I'm very well, thank you.
Delighted to hear it. It's not easy being out and about today.
No, it's not, but you know what? Keeping between the ditches is important as long as the ditch doesn't blow in on you.
That's the thing, yeah. Is it pretty rough if you're
It's
you're
rough,
driving?
it's wild enough, yeah, it is. You just would want to take your ease and not worry too much about having to be somewhere specific.
Right, okay.
But, I don't think it was bad enough that I was going to do this from home, so
Well,
it's grand to be here.
We're delighted to have you in, and thanks for that, Phil. Letter number 1, dear Phil, I do it every year, and every year I say next year will be different. But once again, I've totally overspent for Christmas. I don't know how I will get through January. I'm a single mother of 2 kids, and every single year I spend too much, and I put myself in debt, and it always takes me until March or April to pull myself out of debt. My kids, to be fair, are not demanding and will always ask for about 3 things each. My problem is I get the guilt and I end up spending twice as much as I planned on getting other bits for them. Of course, they're delighted and I feel great that they're so happy, but it always puts me in a bad way financially. This year, I've spent about €1,500 on presents so far. Wow. And that's before presents for other family members and clothes and food and the like. Last year, I cut way back on presents for other people and just basically got something for my parents, but I can't understand why I do this to myself every single year. I always promise I'll budget for next year and start putting money away every week, but because it's always April before I get back to normal after Christmas, and then looking at summer holidays, and it's September again before I can even look at putting stuff away for Christmas. I know you're going to tell me not to buy so much, but I just love the feeling of giving them the perfect Christmas, even if it comes at a cost. I try to tell myself it's only money and I'll get myself sorted again, but I'm already worried about January now. Why do I always do this to myself?
I don't know, but anyway, I want to thank her for being so honest, because what she's describing is far more common than
I'd
people
say so
think.
too, yeah.
And it doesn't mean that she's irresponsible or bad with money. It means that she cares deeply about her children and that she wants to create a magical Christmas for them. And many parents, especially those doing it alone, feel exactly the same pressure as that. But a few things stand out. Her kids aren't demanding at all. The pressure is coming from the mother, not them. And the guilt she feels is driving the overspending, not their expectations. And that's good news, because it means she can change that pattern without disappointing them. She's not overspending because she's careless. She's overspending because she wants to compensate. And a lot of single parents feel the same guilt. They feel, I'm doing it all on my own, so I have to make Christmas extra special. But Christmas magic doesn't come with a price tag. It comes from time together, tradition, feeling loved, and the children always have that. I
suppose, but 1,500 so far on the 2 kids. That's not, because
madness.
It's not counting presents for other family members yet. So 15 on the 2 kids.
But she's recognised the cycle, so that's the first step to breaking that. Because in April, when she's out of this fog, then she'll have the summer expenses. In September, then she'll have the panic because it'll be overspent, and January she'll have the stress. So it makes perfect sense that this woman feels absolutely stuck. But there's a few suggestions. She should set a fixed amount per child and stick to it, and allow herself a little magic kind of a buffer. For example, 150 each and 50 maximum for extras. That way you can still treat them without ending up hundreds over budget. Now, even I think 150 is a lot still for children. Because,
we don't know what age they are, but I presume they're young kids. Yeah.
I'm assuming they're under maybe 7.
Yeah.
She should shift some of the magic to experience rather than items, and I think this is very important, because children will remember something special that you went to.
Do you mean bring them places?
Bring them movie nights, baking, little traditions. These cost very little, but they feel very special to the kids, because if you make the big Christmassy deal out of it, it makes it a special occasion that they'll remember having fun at. Then she should definitely track the spending as she goes, not to shame herself, but to see the numbers clearly before she starts spending out this kind of farcical amount of money, being honest with you. I don't know what you would have to buy in toys or anything else that would cost that kind of money. I really don't.
Yeah.
Now, I think she needs to start a tiny Christmas fund in March or April, even if it's 5 or 10 a week. And the amount doesn't matter, but the habit does, because she gets into a habit of having money set aside for something that she needs to do. And again, I would focus on experiences for children, much more so than toys, things that are going to be forgotten about in a day. If you ask any child age 7 what they got from Santa last year, they will not be able to tell you, more than likely, unless it was a bike or a car or something like that. And she should remind herself that giving doesn't mean it's like this stress on her. She's carrying that alone, and her children don't want her anxious until next April.
She's a single mum,
Yeah, they prefer fewer presents, I'd say, and less stress and a less worried parent.
Absolutely.
And
even though with these game consoles and stuff, it could easily add up, Phil.
Oh, no, they're huge, Fran. And I mean, it's an exploitation as well, I suppose, because every year there's one of these preferred toys. There's something that's really touted as being the cat's pyjamas. You have to have that. So, this mother deserves a Christmas that she can enjoy without the January dread. So I think she needs to be far more prudent in saying to herself, I am not going to get into debt. If she wants to go, it's small things will make children very, very happy. And an experience of going somewhere, or even going to the cinema for a surprise. There's loads of children's movies on that are great fun.
Sure, yeah.
And okay, buy them the little bag of popcorn so they're not eating the bucket or the bin load of popcorn that we might eat once ever. But it would be far more better for them. So yeah, I do think she needs to be kind to herself.
It's a budget. Even though I know of people who would spend the whole year paying back Christmas. So she's out of debt by March or April, so she manages her budget.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking 50 and 100 is an awful lot of money.
And that's before she gets presents for
and
the
and
parents,
again, the other thing I'd say about getting presents for other people, most people get a present from someone, and this is most people, and they think, who can I give that to?
Right, they pass it on.
I don't need that.
I know.
And we don't need stuff. We have enough stuff. I would much prefer to go for a cup of coffee or a drink with somebody and have their time than have a gift that they've put up and beautifully wrapping, beautiful cars, beautiful. I don't want them.
You don't want
them.
I don't want them. And most people would feel the same, I would imagine.
And don't need them.
All right, the second one then, dear Phil, I think we've had
that before. Very similar.
Very similar to this indeed. We had our work night out last week, and I did the one thing that everybody tells you not to do. I kissed my boss. He's a very attractive man in his 50s. I'm in my late 20s. And while I'm single, he's married. I wasn't planning on it. It was just something that happened after a few drinks. We'd been chatting and dancing and having a bit of a flirt, which we always tend to do. But in my mind, it was always harmless. The night of the party, though, was different. And all inhibitions seemed to be out of the window. The problem is many of my colleagues saw us, and those who didn't see it heard about it afterwards. I know it's the talk of the place, but nobody has said anything to me directly. But I do feel a definite coldness from some of my colleagues. The problem is, from what I gather, it seems to be going around that we slept together, but we absolutely did not. It was just a cheeky shift in the corner. But now I'm the talk of the place. Nobody is behaving any differently with him, but with me, there's definitely a change. My boss and I also haven't discussed it. I think we both will just pretend it never happened. But will I always be a scarlet woman with my colleagues from now on? If nobody's mentioning it to me, is there any point in addressing it? Or do I wait and hope it all fades away? I'm also considering that it might be best to just quit my job. I know it's a tale as old as time, but it's annoying that I seem to be a villain because of its Christmas parties, Phil.
You know, these come up each time at this time of the year because people have done something they feel really, really sorry about. I would just advise her to take a breath. She's not the first person to get carried away at a Christmas party, and she won't be the last. But she did make a mistake, and she didn't commit a crime, and she's not responsible for managing other people's gossip. But a few things are worth keeping in mind. The double standard is real, and it's unfair. But it's not surprising that people are judging her very harshly.
And not judging
much
him,
more
is
so
that
than
it?
him,
Yeah.
yeah. And workplace gossip tends to blame the younger single woman rather than the older married man. That says a lot about them, not really about the girl. You don't need to wear the Scarlet Woman badge because you kissed someone. You didn't have an affair or destroy a marriage. The line between a silly moment and a scandal is often just people's imagination running away with them.
Yeah.
You know, and the rumour that she slept with him is exactly that. It's a rumour, and she doesn't have to chase it or defend herself to every whisper. Address it only if it comes up directly. I'd say herself and her boss would need a quiet professional reset. She doesn't need, I think, a dramatic conversation, but something simple like, last week was a one-off and I'd like us to keep things professional and move on and be done with it.
Yes.
And get on with it and go on with your life. But I would just say to people that think they're going to be a bit dizzy or a bit flehoolach with people's gobs while they're out, keep away from it. Like, it's not your place and it's not your time.
How
and
does she describe the cheeky shift? Stay away from the cheeky shift.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, and I mean, he participated as much as she did, but there's no talk about him. I do think her colleagues, you know, attitude will fade. The gossip has a short enough shelf life. And someone else will do something questionable in about 2 weeks, and the spotlight will move anyway. And as long as she behaves normally, it'll be fine.
And that notion that she's thinking of quitting her job.
Well, yeah, don't leave him because of embarrassment gives the incident far more power than it deserves. So she shouldn't even dream of quitting. She should just go to the boss and say, I am really sorry. I'm young and unhinged. I was that night. I'm totally sensible now, and it'll never happen again.
Right. Well, her apologising, I mean, it was as much him as her. So
it was, but she had too much to drink.
Yeah.
And when you she flirted with someone she shouldn't have, and she got carried away. And it's a human mistake now, not a defining trait. But it's like you really need to think when you're going to events where you're going to be meeting with your colleagues and their friends, and you know, a man in his 50s, first of all, shouldn't have been accepting of someone else coming down to kiss him, because I certainly wouldn't like it if it was my husband. I certainly would not, and I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not young anymore anyway. So I would say to her, act professionally, don't feed the gossip, set a boundary with your boss and carry on. It'll blow over far sooner than it feels it will.
All right. Our third and final letter. I'm a man in my 30s and I feel like I am completely stuck in a rut. As I come to the end of the year, I've been looking back over the past year and I feel like I've achieved nothing, did nothing, and have fallen into a slow and boring, monotonous life. I go to work every day, and while I'm lucky to have a good job and earn good money, I have no girlfriend, no children, no real friends, and my family live about an hour away. I go to the gym every day after work, and I come home, make dinner, watch TV, and then go to bed and do it all again the next day. Excuse me. I spend the day surrounded by people, but I'm lonely. I have great colleagues and we all get on well, but I wouldn't class them as friends. We don't meet up outside of work, and I've lost contact with most of my friends who are now married with children and living their own lives. I know you will say that I should join a group or take a new hobby, but I really don't have any interest in anything. I think I'm just a very boring, routine person who has fallen into a boring lifestyle. I don't want a girlfriend just for the sake of it, but I don't know how to get out of this lonely routine I found myself in. I don't mind my own company, but I do feel the loneliness is starting to get me down. What should I do?
Oh, isn't it sad?
Isn't it just?
Well, what he's describing is something a lot of people in their 30s feel. Actually, life looks good on paper, but inside it just feels flat. It's repetitive and it's lonely. He's doing the same thing every day.
Yes.
There's nothing outside of that, and he's not making an opportunity where he could actually be in a situation where he could meet someone. And it just means that he's outgrown a routine that really once served him very well, and he knows it, and he's sitting there thinking about it. He's not really stuck, but he is stalled. Like, he's doing the same boring thing. He's not challenging himself. He's not going somewhere different, and it just means he's hit a period where there's nothing pulling him forward to do something different. I think the lack of connection is much more of a problem than, say, his routine.
Yeah, I would have thought. Is there a bit of depression there?
I would say there's a sub-depression there somewhere along the line, or there's a lack of confidence, and he's a bit worried about, you know, I suppose the missing part where he doesn't have anything really alive to do with. So he should do a little bit different. Just one thing maybe initially in a month or in a week. Go to a cafe. Go and salute somebody. Go and join a park run, or go on. There's lovely walks, and it's all around the whole country. It's not just another way we like to say when Clonmel is marvellous for the walking and the hills and the hill walks, but there are loads and loads of things that people can now do. And you can only, like, I can remember going on my first walk with a group of people, and I'm thinking, Jesus, well, I don't really even know anyone here. But it's amazing because there's people slow down and people speed up, and you get talking to another person, and you go to, I was never on this walk before, or God, I never saw those houses, they must be new, and you're there and you're having the chat, and you suddenly feel, listen, I'm kind of part of that now. And it's only one event, so you can build on stuff like that. And definitely he needs to challenge himself and get a little bit outside the box, because he's definitely stuck in a same old. It's like Groundhog Day. The alarm goes off, he gets out of bed, and it's the same old. You need to challenge yourself, and you need to get something different. He does sound like he might need to go and maybe have a chat with some counsellor.
Yes.
Well, he might have to go and have a chat with a counsellor just about how he's feeling, and maybe there is a bit of depression there.
So, because the lack of motivation would lead me.
This is the whole of it. And also it can be, you can get into a comfort zone, Fran, where you think, well, sure, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm going, I know the routine in the gym, and I love doing that and I love doing this. But if you're not living outside of the box or the bubble that you're in, you're not sharing yourself or giving yourself an opportunity to meet with others. So I do think this is something that can be dealt with quite easily, but it could be down to, it could take him a week or a month to say, I'm going to go and join the park run, I'll just go and do it, and it doesn't matter if he comes last. Now, he's probably like a hare, he'd probably come first.
Yeah, he's in the gym every day.
Tell him to come in the middle. not to be too brilliant or not to be too bad.
Yes.
But someone does have to come last. I've been last many times myself. I'm okay with that.
Oh, do you hear this now? If you have an issue that you would like Phil to have a look at, all you have to do is email us, and it is tiptoday@tipfm.com, and if you put Dear Phil in the subject bar, we will know what the story is at that point. Phil, lovely to see you. I won't see you before Christmas now, will I?
I think you will, yeah. The 23rd, I think, is the next time we're in.
Brilliant.
That's even if it's on. I'm okay if it's not.
Oh, it's absolutely on. Absolutely on.
I'll absolutely be here. And hopefully it'll be a nice light programme and not people worrying so much. But I would really like if the people that were listening today and thought about the overspend at Christmas, think much more about an experience with a child. They don't measure things by how much money you spend. They measure things about your time, and they measure things about being with people and having a bit of fun or doing something different. Take a train ride down to Waterford, do something different, go and see Winterville, go see whatever is around and local, and try not to let it cost too much, because buying things for people, buying things is not going to buy their love. They won't really remember them, Fran. But you do always remember experiences.
Well, that's for sure. Phil, always a pleasure. Thanks very much indeed. We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment.
Tip FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage Puckon. Now is the time to pick up your next van. From the award-winning Peugeot Partner van to the Expert and the load-lugging Boxer van. We have big vans, high-roof vans, long wheelbase vans. You'll find them all at Slattery's Garage Puckon. See slatterysgarage.ie.